Hey everyone, Mr. Say here. This is lap guide for second Spa-Francorchamps with the Group 1 cars. For the time trial, we'll be using the 2016 Audi R18, and for the race, we'll be using the Toyota TS050. And as we start our qualifying lap, make sure you use both braking and throttle before you start your first lap. And this is to make sure that you start with a fully charged battery and also have the brake balance all the way towards the back of the car for the newer R18, as having the brake balance towards the back of the car will help the batteries recharge faster. Just point the car towards the start finish line and then start to fully accelerate. Your first braking point is before you reach the 100-meter board. Brake hard for a short while and start to ease off of the brakes as you turn in. Briefly go down to first gear for additional rotation and get the car pointing towards the next section of the track as soon as you can so you can start to fully accelerate. Now for this part, you can easily take it flat out, take advantage of the curbs, turn in when the curb on the left ends, and keep going flat out, take advantage of the curbs. And as I mentioned earlier, have the brake balance all the way towards the back of the car so the batteries can recharge a bit faster. Your next braking point is just as the curb on the left starts. Brake hard for a short while and slowly ease off of the brakes as you turn in. Do be a little careful here because you want to use a lot of throttle control, so you want to bring yourself towards the left side of the track and then just try to get a fast exit with minimal lift off of the throttle. Then stay on the left side of the track and your next braking point before the curb on the left starts. Brake hard for a short while and slowly ease off of the brakes as you turn in. Take this turn on second or third gear. And for this turn, you want to use just a little bit of braking. This is more about fine-tuning the car and getting on the throttle as soon as you can. Now stay on the right side of the track and your next braking point is the digital flag that is on the right. Quick burst of braking for this turn as you want to try to maintain a very high speed through this turn. And you won't be on the brakes for too long, but you will get on the throttle pretty early on. Then brake before the curb on the left starts before the 50-meter board. Brake hard for a short moment. Slowly ease off of the brakes, just trying to stay towards the inside of the turn as much as you can and doing a lot of throttle control. Once again, brake before the curb on the left starts. Brake hard for a short moment. Quickly ease off of the brakes, taking advantage of the curves and get on the throttle. This turn can easily be taken flat out. And you're going to be going flat out for a while. The upcoming left turn, not this one, but the next one, can also be taken flat out. So as you see right now, I took that turn flat out. Bring yourself towards the left, and finally, brake right as you pass the 150-meter board. You're going to be braking hard for a while, and you want to get the car rotated around the bus-up chicane as soon as you can. Go down to first gear for additional rotation if necessary. Get the car pointed towards the start finish line and get on the throttle as soon as you can. But that's pretty much it for the lap guide. Let's go ahead and take a look at the strategies. And actually, before we take a look at the race strategies, the reason why I'm not using the Audi R18 for the race is because this car doesn't recharge the batteries fast enough. So I'm completing my first lap right now. This car is really good on one lap pace, qualifying pace, but in terms of race pace, this is where it's going to suffer. So I'm going to start lap 2, and you're going to see that I don't have enough battery charge to be able to take full advantage of it. So I'm going to run out right now, and I become a sitting duck. So the ghost ahead of me used the battery charge until it hit around 150 miles per hour, and he's already 4/10 and eventually half a second ahead of me. So this is why in terms of races like these, you see the Audi R18 used a lot in time trial, but you don't see it that much in the race. Can you still get it to work? Yes, but it's really hard to get it to work. But anyways, let's take a look at this daily race. So we're doing 10 laps at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps with the Group 1 cars. Fuel is a ×2, which means that fuel is not an issue, but the tire wear is a ×8, which means that tire wear will become an issue. Both the racing soft and medium tires are required for this race, so you do need to use both of them so you don't get a 1-minute penalty that gets applied at the end of the race. First of all, check out the TSO50, it just zooms by this Nano HDI. But also, if you saw just now, if you start anywhere from 5th place and below, you're pretty much starting in the middle or before the chicane, which means that you have to go through it, and you're going to be falling way behind 4th place and above. Also, in terms of the pit strategy, so once again, you're going to go for a 1-stop, and your main goal is to make the racing soft tires last as long as possible. So in my case, I'm going to make the racing soft tires last 7 laps. So at a minimum, you want to use the racing soft tires for 5 laps, but at most, you want to use it for 7 laps unless if you're really good with tire saving, which means that you want to use the racing medium tires for 3 to 5 laps. But anyways, this is an interesting race because with the Group 1 cars, there are multiple subclasses. So for example, you have the LMP1 cars, the Group C cars, which are not useful here unfortunately. But we have this car, the Toyota TSO50, and it's going to be one of the go-to cars for this race because you don't have to worry about running out of the battery charge. So I have the brake balance at +3 for better battery recharging, and I don't have to worry about doing any sort of battery management. The 908 HDI, or the Peugeot 908 HDI, which is in front of us, is not a hybrid, but it has a really good top-end speed. So this was how he was able to catch up to us, because he was able to go super fast. Our car doesn't have the top-end speed, but the 908 does, which means that he can easily catch up to us. But we do have the really good acceleration thanks to the hybrid, which means that when we're coming out of the slower speed turns, we can easily catch up to him and easily overtake him. So cars like the Peugeot 908 HDI, the 2011 Audi R18, you can get them to work thanks to their good top speed, but it's not going to be an easy thing to do. But anyways, let's take a look at the pit loss, the pit stop. So the pit stop is hanging out in the middle of the chicane. You just want to go a bit further down, and then you'll be entering the pit lane. And you're going to be losing quite a bit of time here. You're going to be losing around 28 to 30 seconds. So you're going to be hanging out here for quite a while. So we're only going in for a tire change. We started on the racing soft tires, and we're switching over to the racing medium tires. So this will fulfill both of our tire requirements, so we will not get the 1-minute penalty at the end of the race. And another thing to be aware of, when it comes to these Group 1 cars, they are high downforce cars, which means that whenever you're within 3/4 of a second behind someone, you will be engaging with their dirty air. So with the dirty air, that means that less air is going through your car, so you have less downforce going through your car, which means that your car is going to be more prone to understeer. Also, just check it out again, he's just going really fast and easily catching up to us, and I almost scared myself into going wide. But anyways, so with the 3/4 of a second gap, you're more prone to understeer, so you have to be really careful if you're really close behind someone, as you do risk going off track if you're not careful enough. But we're already towards the end of the video, so let's take a look at places to overtake and the penalty serving zone. So towards this first turn, you can easily get an overtake done, especially if you're in a hybrid car and the car ahead of you is not in a hybrid car. So once again, that first turn, pretty easy place to get an overtake done. And through here, you don't want to get an overtake done. Don't battle out through here. Just wait it out until we reach this back straight over here. And also the penalty serving zone is hanging out over here. So the penalty zone just started. There's only one penalty serving zone in this track. So this back straight was a good place to get an overtake done. And for this part right over here, it is possible to get an overtake done. This is more of a situational place, and the same thing is going to apply for this left turn right here. Another situational place, so it's not always going to be right to get an overtake done there. And through here, yeah, don't go for an overtake. The dirty air will get you pretty bad and it'll force you to understeer off the track. And this turn, situational as well. You can get it done, but once again, it's going to depend on the situation that you're in. Same thing is going to apply for this right turn. And you're kind of getting the point. A lot of these turns, situational places to get the overtake done. If an opportunity presents itself, you can definitely get it done. But if you're trying to force it, then things may not go to plan. And over here, it is possible to get an overtake done thanks to the slipstream itself, especially if you're in a car with a high top speed. And yeah, this part right here, another place to get the overtake done. Be careful if you go too wide through the final turns, as it's really easy to get the car to get upset and spin out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this race. This is a one-stop race. Make sure you use both the racing soft and medium tires. And the Toyota TS050 is going to be the general go-to car for this race, but there are other options like the Peugeot 908 HDI and the older Audi R18. And the newer R18, that's going to be much better for a time trial car. But that's all for me. I'm going to sign off now. So this is Miss Missy A, wishing you a good race, and I'll see you in the next video.